All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now live in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage here on Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And boy, does our guest here have a lot to say. And especially after you saw UCA, Universal Champions of Action's most recent show, Monday Night Eruption, Episode 3, where he pulled out that list, and there was certainly a list of names and a couple of very familiar faces that I definitely know and have seen on this platform. And also his highly successful victory where it seemed like Drew once again was in action. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about what's to come here coming up for Monday's huge show coming up here at episode 4. And what's next for the Duke of Detroit, one of the all-time greats, 17 years in running, 17 years in our sport. This is a man that has done it all as an amateur champion, a backyard, an underground wrestling legend. And boy, is he back, and he has taken names, and he has got a lot to say, especially in the world of UCA plus who knows whatever else when it comes to what this man has to say. He is certainly a bad guy that seems to be doing it his way, and I'm not going to get in his way. But what I will present to him later on is, let's just say, something for his company. So we'll certainly get into that, and who knows what other companies will be here tonight. That might be a clue or maybe not. But it is time once again to give our guest that introduction here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that he helped build, Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And I know you're waiting for it. He's already waiting for it. He's got that UCA championship proudly on his shoulders, and I am going to give him that introduction. I am going to give you what the world has been waiting for. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show on the road here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show, 9 years and counting, the reigning, defending UCA heavyweight champion, the man that is simply put the Duke of Detroit, a bad guy that reigns supreme,
I'll be great, Ali. Ali.
The champ is here, my friend. How are we doing?
You know something, Tom? I'm going to let you know right now, being here on Sportswire Radio, it feels like a bunch of electricity going through my veins. And you said it yourself. You have the pound for pound greatest underground wrestler that has ever breathed the same air as Bruno Sammartino once breathed. Tom Bryce, I'm going to let you know right now, I've been holding this World Heavyweight Championship for the last 9.5 years when I defeated Ryro and Chris Payne for the UWW World Heavyweight Championship. Not only that, I am one of the only underground wrestlers to happily take another promotions championship home with him, change the look, give her a beautiful makeover, change the title because the legacy was broken. So I decided to fix it. And you said it yourself, Tom. I'm here to fix the business. I'm here to fix the industry. And it's all starting with these 3 letters: Universal Champions of Action. And you are correct. Drew has been coming out of nowhere, Tom. I don't know who this guy comes from. Listen, okay, I know Drew. I'm gonna let everybody in on a little secret here.
All right, all right. What do you got?
Drew is my brother. Drew is a Shelby. Drew is that guy who's always been, he's older than me, believe it or not. Drew's always been that guy in the shadows. Growing up, it was me, Daniel Derricks, D'Angelo Carl, and Drew. You know, Drew was always in the background, never really wanted to get into anything. But a couple months ago, Drew came to me and said, Kyle, I want to be just like you. I says, Drew, what do you mean? He says, Kyle, I want to be able to to tap the rats, if you know what I'm saying. And I say, Drew, come on, there's more to wrestling than tapping rats. And he said, well, I want to tap the rats in the ring. And I said, Drew, that's illegal. And he said, hey, now.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll certainly leave that at that. We are obviously a family station on this platform, but interesting that you say 9.5 years. You know, you mentioned Bruno Sammartino, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't in the backyard in the underground, but I think the point was you were the Bruno Sammartino of the backyard in the underground, and 9.5 years on top. I mean, 9.5 years ago, I can tell you that I did not have mutton chops. My hair was not like this. And I was sweating my butt off handing out flyers for a Thai food restaurant in Dyker Heights, Brooklyn. And I was getting ready to hopefully be on another political campaign that would pay me peanuts. But that was a long time ago, many moons ago. But 9.5 years, and it seems like you could be on top forever. You know, Monday's show, we had RTG on, and RTG is obviously the BTW Continental Champion and 1/3 of the tag team champions. And sure, he seems to be reigning supreme, but he's got ways to go to catch you. There's some guy, Xavier Thorne, who said he's champion for I don't know how many days. Judas, not too far from you, has been on top for 5 years, but they got nothing on you because it's 9.5 years on top as the reigning, defending UCA champion. I mean, what's even left to accomplish in this sport? We'll watch Eruption episode 3. We'll certainly do that. But I mean, you know, you're here. You say you want to fix the backyard and the underground, but it seems like you've accomplished everything. You don't got anything left to prove. 9.5 years on top. And I mean, why not call it a day?
See, Tom, I didn't win this championship by just calling it a day. I didn't advance to the point to where I was just by calling it a day. And there's plenty of people in this business that just want me to call it a day. But I call it a day when I'm old and gray and my life is fading away. That's how it goes. I'm from the mean streets of Sterling Heights, Michigan. People don't understand what it's like for people like me growing up. People don't understand what it's like eating caviar in the middle of the day. People don't understand what it's like to have parents that love you. People don't understand what it's like to have things. But that's okay. Listen, I'm a fighting man. I'm a fighting man. And recently, Tom, I'm going to let you know right now, I've had a change of heart.
You have? How come?
I've had a change of heart because for a long time, I felt as if I was better than most people. I felt I was better than most people, and I felt that my shit don't stink.
Well, I mean, you've been on top for 9.5 years. I mean, you might be better than a lot of people. I mean, don't you think? Or you don't know?
You know, that may be, but, you know, I've been looking out in the community the past couple months since I've announced my return to the community.
3 months ago. Yep, you were here 3 months ago. We were here, and we just started to maybe plant the seeds of your return, and you've been back so far in UCA.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, UCA, I have a vision for, but I also have a vision for Kyle Shelby. I have a vision for Kyle Shelby. There's been people in the community like Jack Delta, like Aaron Blaze, like CJ Black, the people of this caliber who've been taking.
How about my friend in the chat, Silas Walker, another legend in BYW, another man. I'll throw him out there too. Silas Walker's here, man. He's been around too, around the same time you've been as champ, 9.5 years. He's been around 9.5 years. I'll throw him in.
Silas Walker and I, we have a history.
I knew that. That's why I threw it out.
And that's the thing. Well, I can happily say me and him, we came up in this place together. We've never had our paths cross. But you know
Yeah.
what? Let's add Silas Walker onto that list as well. He's a great champion when he's a champion. He's a
He
great
is a
fighter.
champion right now, as a matter of fact, and he's in action tomorrow. He's the DBW Global Champion. He's in action tomorrow.
And you know what's really funny? You know what's really
Are you showing up to wrestle him tomorrow?
no,
No.
but when Kyle Shelby shows up
Yeah,
to work in DBW, it
he
would
will.
be a DBW original from Detroit showing up at the DBW original DBW.
I mean, you are the Duke of Detroit. I mean, you were the DBW man. I mean, that's interesting. Detroit backyard wrestling. I mean, hopefully you're not giving them papers for names rights.
See, there's a lot of potential for some heat there. There's a lot of potential for some storyline there, with me and Silas. So absolutely, man, he's great. I love DBW. I love those guys over that way. Silas, even when I was going through it back in the day, back before, or no, before I left the business in the first place, guys like Silas, he wouldn't just like scoff, he wouldn't just look at Kyle Shelby and be like, man, this kid's off his rocker. Silas understood. He was like, man, this guy's really into his character. He's just got to chill out a little bit. And that's the fact. That's a fact. And that's why I tell people every day, that talk to me, because I've been talking to a lot of guys in the community lately.
That's good.
And I tell people all the time, man, just chill out. Don't let the ego get a hold of you. Have fun. This is the best time of your life. You are in backyard and underground wrestling.
You have the time of your life.
Exactly. Exactly. And personally, I have no problem staying in the yard in the underground. I think this is my place to be. And you know what? I tell people all the time, don't have that ego, man. Don't let that ego stay home, because that ego can build itself in the ring, and that eventually that kind of ego is the good ego, where no one can really touch you like The Undertaker, because he was so cool about things throughout his entire career. And now look at him.
Yeah, no, listen, I mean, there's no question. That was a topic we had a couple of times this week. We were speaking about staying humble and, obviously treating everybody the way that you want to be treated. We had the Stompers on yesterday. I think you were in the chat with the Stompers. And James Taylor went on a sermon. He hasn't gone on in a while. And, he spoke a lot about that. So, no, I definitely agree with you. But obviously, a lot to get into tonight. Certainly, I should put up the UCA Eruption episode 3. Let's put it up for the chat so we can watch a little bit of it. So let's certainly do that. Before I do anything else, I'm going to turn this off and go like this. And there we go. I'm going to go like this because I do want to put up the YouTube link. First of all, let's go like this because I want to let everybody know that let's give a sub to UCA, because UCA, I'm actually 3 of the 7 subscribers. So let's make it 3 of the 8, 3 of the 9, 3 of the 7. So I help my people. People know that. So you got 3 subs from the PWF page I own, actually both PWF pages, and of course the Sportswire page. That is the Universal Champions of Action YouTube channel. So go out there and hit the sub for us, Universal Champions of Action. So let's get right to it here. Let's get rocked here. Not to quote Def Leppard, but we'll certainly give you another like from my other page. But we'll get ready. We'll get this show on the road. We'll show everybody what happened here last week. And this was certainly a brutal onset that Drew faced, and painful there. Painful. Looks like going to the dentist office for Drew.
Yeah, dealing with Drew is like pulling teeth.
I've had a root canal before, so I can understand.
I just had an abscess the other week, Tom. I just had an abscess, and I had to fight through it.
Yeah.
Most disgusting thing ever. I got to go to the dentist on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, I've been avoiding it. My mother was like, hey, how's the dentist across the street? Well, I haven't gone there in a while, but the good news is you just did a cannonball to Drew, and certainly he's feeling the pain, and we're going to watch episode 3. We're watching back episode 2 to go us into episode 3, and we are watching here a brutal onslaught from the UCA champion. Just did a pedigree there, pedigree onto the yield sign. He didn't yield the pedigree. He just went on right to it. And 1, 2, 3, very clever there. Very clever finish there. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. It's something brand new, but really not, because Kyle Shelby, the Duke of Detroit, has retained that UCA championship. And here he is. He's got the open challenge continues. And we've obviously are very excited to see who comes out here. We're getting ready to come out. It's match time. And boy, I mean, we're going to put the volume up when you get ready for that list, because we're going to go right into talking about that list right after this historic match here. So we're obviously watching UCA Monday Night Eruption Episode 3. And no, not to be confused with the legendary Eddie Van Halen Eruption solo. That was certainly, we don't want copyright issues, but certainly here is the Duke of Detroit. And he's vaping while he's entering the ring, and maybe a first in BYW history. Somebody vaping here while coming out to the ring. But the champ is obviously here, and he's requesting everybody get up. So we're going to certainly do that shortly. He is making sure everybody knows that he is still the reigning, defending UCA champion of the world. And he is about to speak. And let's put the volume up here so we can certainly turn it up.
Turn that thing up, brother.
Here at UCA
right there.
Eruption, we continue
Can't turn any further.
The UCA World's Heavyweight Championship Open Challenge. Anybody in the back, anybody from the past, present, and the future can show up here to compete for this gold over my shoulder. Now, right here, we have a list of names. We have a list of names here of people I plan on beating in the next year as your UCA World's Heavyweight Champion. The first on the list is going to be Dan, vocalist.
A legendary name from the past.
Dan.
Yeah.
Chris Payne.
Oh, man, we spoke about many times here.
Ryro.
Oh.
Jack. Delta.
Well, we're going to talk about that after this.
C-Money.
C-Money.
And CJ Black.
CJ Black. They don't work
See,
at
boys,
UCA.
I'm cutting
They sure don't.
cloth than you.
We're going to talk about that
I've
after
been
this. But
world's
those are names I've heard of.
Heavyweight champion for the last 9 years. And in my almost 17 years, backyard and underground wrestling, I've learned one thing. Never count out the bad guy.
Never count him out. Nope.
Because the fact of the matter is, the bad guy always gets it done. Don't let the teeth fool you. This is a face of a god. This is the face of Michigan backyard and underground.
Michigan backyard underground wrestling?
Big up, never down.
Oh.
The bad guy runs the town.
Okay. Somebody take the.
Bring out my computer.
Somebody.
We're gonna take the volume down, because now it's we're gonna get to what some of those things you said in a little while. But we are coming here to match time, and certainly you now have this individual who we basically spoiled. It is Drew, but it's Neuer here. Did I get it right, Neuer? Neuer? No, it doesn't matter.
So,
it's Drew.
yeah, there's a backstory behind this match. So I'm sitting in my living room writing out the show. There was supposed to be some completely different open challenge competitor, but he ended up not showing up. But then I got this other guy who I thought answered an ad from one of the Backyard Wrestling Grand Prix posts that I made a couple months back. And he just wouldn't talk to me. He just wanted to wrestle. He said, I'm the world champion. I'm the next one here. And that's all he said. So I says, all right, man. And little did I know it was Drew playing a prank on me like he always does. A little sly bug to him.
Well, we are in the wrestling world, and that's a world that is known for plenty full of pranks. But obviously here, you're so far not knowing it's a prank. And we see here what's ahead. And we're getting ready for match time. And this is going to be a war interruption. Let's just put it that way. We'll certainly see who's running with the devil here. Something tells me that we'll have an atomic punk, and definitely somebody will be crying here after the match, because somebody will also be on fire. I was just using some of the song titles from the original Van Halen album, because Eruption, some people are like, what are you talking about? But that was, Van Halen and Eruption. But that was for a different show at a different time. But obviously here, speaking of people that are certainly getting in the, let's just say, Halloween spirit, even though Halloween passed, is certainly Drew. But we are getting ready for that time. And Monday Night Eruption Episode 3. And the champion here is standing here. Wait. Are you trying to do some Steiner math? I mean, what's going on here? But obviously, you guys do tie up, and it is going to be a war here like no other. And the champion using his size advantage, using his strength, and certainly pulling off those glasses. And you definitely, I guess you broke them, right? They were broke.
Yeah, those were a pair of $300 glasses that I broke.
Hopefully he could afford another pair. Because if it was me, I could afford another pair. But I know for him, we don't know that question.
I don't know, Drew. We paid Drew in hot dogs. So
well, that's the thing, hot dogs and a handshake. But I'm not quite sure you gave him a handshake after this prank. But
I'm telling you, Tom, I've had a change of heart lately. Yeah. I've been giving people handshakes now. I'm a good guy. I'm a happy person.
I thought you were a bad guy, though.
Well, lately, we'll get to that here shortly, because, like I said, I've had a change of heart over these past couple weeks. After looking into the community, there's a lot of guys out here who I feel really need somebody to, just to look out for them.
I see. Well, certainly, I think Drew's leg was looking out for your head because you banged into the head. Let's just say bang your head, and certainly your mental health will be driven mad right after that. But
always will.
You do get up, and then we do see that once again yield sign, but nobody's yielding there because
look at my size, bro. Yeah. Listen, I've been in the gym consistently for the past almost 2 weeks now, so I feel like I've dropped some of this weight already. So I might not be that big anymore, but who knows? Okay,
well, obviously, certainly look forward to seeing what comes to that, but obviously, right now your hand is in a little bit of pain, and
yeah, I don't know who taught this guy how to wrestle, Tom, but they didn't do a good job.
Well, I think he's certainly doing the 2024 version of the Repo Man right now. That's what I've come to learn here right now. I'm looking at the 2024 version of Repo Man. And somewhere, maybe Barry Darshow, if he's alive, is smiling. I think he is alive, but right now, Drew is alive on top of you, trying to get a count here, but not quite. Not quite gets that 3. You do kick out, obviously, champion's advantage. Champion here, 9+ years. We have the Duke of Detroit, Kyle Shelby. He was the Duke of Detroit, but he's also a bad guy now, and he never is too up, but he's always certainly going to make sure his opponents go down. We are watching him defend that UCA championship here right now in the main event of Monday Night Eruption Episode 3. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. And we are watching UCA. Please also follow Universal Champions of Action on their YouTube page. We'll put that link back up here shortly since we do have some people here. But obviously the champion is now in control. You are in firm control right now. Those are some painful punches, some elbows there, and that's certainly going to hurt Drew, and maybe think about next week's show.
Oh, 100%.
That's what we're saying. And 1, 2, and almost 2 and 2/3 there. And the champion you look in disbelief there a little bit that you thought that you were getting the 3, but not so fast. Not so fast. But obviously you continue to think you are going to continue to work on those numbers and eventually try to get that 3 and make Drew pay. And that's just stomping him there. You are stomping a mud hole in him like yesterday's Guess the Stompers, who were stomping a mud hole in their opponents in that War Games match. But obviously you are continuing to work on Drew. And here we go here, and it is just going to be painful. And, yeah, you're just going to throw him. Yeah, just throw him like a sack of potatoes. And you are now just basically celebrating, looking on, and obviously motioning for the strength to finish this match. And Drew looks like he's finished. And he's kicking him again. And there we go. We look to the crowd. We look to the sky, to the UCA fan base, the devoted UCA fan base. And it was your own version of an RKO, and a modified version, you might want to say. But, certainly you are just in firm control right now. I mean, Drew doesn't stand a chance right now. Does not stand a chance. And why go off the top rope here, or off the top dresser here? You have not done this much in your legendary career. Why would you do this?
No, so I have not. I barely go off the top rope. But lately, I feel like I'm getting to the point in my career now where I feel, let's take some risks. Let's have some fun. Let's do some different things. So there's going to be a lot of new things that we're throwing into the moveset in the next year.
Well, Drew certainly didn't like that you did that, but obviously, he's in a lot of pain, and he's in pain, and just he's in tons of pain, and he's probably going to still be feeling that one. And just I could see the pain, just the chest, clutching his chest here. Just, I mean, he's definitely regretting this. And obviously, you were in firm control, and you've obviously continued your historic run, 9+ years, and it goes back to technically now 4 presidential terms. An amazing run here, 4 presidential terms. You went through Obama, 1 Trump, Biden, and now Trump again. So 4 presidents. You've been holding this championship. That's historic, and you win it off the top rope. I mean, obviously continuing this amazing run you had, and taking off the mask for good measure.
It needs to be in history books. They need to teach this in class. They need to teach this in schools. They need to let people know. They need to let people know that this is the peak masculine physique. This is the peak masculine thing. Kids, get into your winter arc right now. Eat your mangoes, drink your primes, and get in your winter arc, man, because you want to look like Kyle Shelby, the best wrestler in the history of professional wrestling to ever wrestle a wrestling match.
Well, I mean, obviously, we'll certainly find that out. But I'll tell you what, this championship run has certainly been historic. There's no question about that. I could certainly say with a lot of certainty this 5-year run that some people claim they've had, but it is nothing compared to your 9-year run, 9+ years on top. And I don't know if Drew's going to be coming out next week in a mask. That's for sure.
You never know, man. You never know with Drew. I'm honestly thinking about giving him a title match. I'm thinking about it because the kid's been fighting. The kid's been texting me nonstop, talking about, hey, I know I'm not allowed to win this title right now while you're champion. So, I mean, I probably will never be able to win this belt ever. But I think you should really give me a shot because I know the guys in the community already like me. So it's like, I think it's good for business. And plus, I'm the only one that wants to come wrestle on the bare ground. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I think, you know what we're going to do to celebrate for this amazing announcement, this really exciting announcement that I got to make here in a second.
But we got another YouTube subscriber, by the way.
Oh, do we? Hey, thank you guys very much. I love you. I appreciate you. You're the best. See,
let's get him to 10. We got I think a bunch of people here on YouTube. So if you're here, hit the sub. All you have to do is go to Universal Champions of Action. They've got 8 subs. Let's get them to 10.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I would love that. That would be great. And I'm telling you, Tom, this is why I've had a change of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, let's be real here.
Yes, sir.
Starting to get worried.
For what? I mean, what are you worried about? You won. You had another big win. The championship run continues. 4 presidents. It's certainly 4 presidential terms. To be more technical, that this run continues to overlap in. And you're the Duke of Detroit. I mean, you say the self-proclaimed bad guy, and Michigan backyard wrestling you reign supreme over, and maybe backyard, you're the Bruno Sammartino of backyard and underground wrestling. I mean, you just done it all, and this run is going to continue. Could be another 9.5 years until the day you die. 17 years in this sport, half of your legendary career, you've been a world champion. An amazing stat for the audience: more than half of your career in this circuit, you've been a world champion. Amazing.
I'm really worried because I know there's a lot better competition than I had back in those days. There's a lot more ground to cover.
A lot more ground to cover.
There's guys out there like Jack Delta. There's guys out there like CJ Black. There's guys out there like Aaron Blaze. There's guys out there that go to these other places and dominate and conquer. And
they've had some success for sure. They've had some success, no question. I mean, Aaron Blaze, you mentioned, he's a traveling savant. He's definitely worked in many places. Mr. Delta, you mentioned, a man that certainly overlapped in your first stint in this community, in the backyard underground wrestling circuit. I'm not sure what his future is, though, in the backyard and underground wrestling circuit. I'm not quite sure what his future is. But, you did mention a couple of names there. Also, in addition, such as C Money and this guy, the good guy, CJ Black. And I mean, I'm curious why you would mention those names, especially because those two names are in a different company. They're not in UCA unless I'm missing something, but I don't see them in UCA unless you've got something to say for Monday's show, episode 4. I know we're all excited about it, but I mean, I'm just curious as to why at least those two names got mentioned. Obviously, fellow Michiganites. Obviously, you guys do stick together. But as far as I know, they don't work in UCA.
No. They don't work at UCA.
They don't.
Yeah,
they don't work in UCA. I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you think that you want to sign talent to UCA? I mean, I do see some other names. I see the owner of ROEW here now, James Taylor. Mr. Walker's returned to the chat. I mean, I'm sure other individuals will be joining shortly. But I mean, so UCA, I mean, maybe you'll see some of these guys in UCA. Reminds me of a Loudness song. MCA. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if you're ever a fan of the heavy metal rock band Loudness. They were big in the 80s. And MCA. Dun, 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 UCA. I mean, so just curious here for the audience. We don't want to hear me sing, but obviously. Well,
what I'm really worried about, Tom.
Yes, sir.
What I'm really worried about is what if Kyle Shelby does too well? What if Kyle Shelby dominates too hard? Because back when I was in my DBW, I went so crazy, Tom. I don't think they're ready for it. That's why I have to dim this down. Tom, I have to dim this down. And when it comes to ROEW, one of the greatest shows in Michigan backyard wrestling history today. This
ROEW.
is where
but you just mentioned ROEW, but now correct me if I'm wrong. You work in UCA. You are the UCA champion. The UCA
I do, of course.
Yeah, UCA. But ROEW, they just had a show today. The good guy CJ Black was in action, so was C Money.
And did you watch those? Listen, I was 2 for 2 for my predictions. You call me Mr. Kyle because I got it going on. I want to give a big shout out to Big Man Cam, brother. Listen to what I'm about to say. You know I love you, Cam. You know I'm going to come help you very, very shortly, brother.
What do you mean help him? He lost. He lost the ROEW title.
I'm going to come help him get that thing back. Listen, the announcement I want to make right now, live.
Okay. I'm listening.
On prime time.
I'm in prime time.
I've signed with ROEW.
Wait a minute. Wait. Did you say that again? Because I may need to get my ears checked, but I just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. You signed with what and who again?
Kyle Shelby had a meeting last night with James Taylor, the owner.
James Taylor? This guy right here?
That's right.
James Taylor.
That's right. This guy right here.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with him. I said, James, listen, man, I love what you got going on. ROEW is where the big fish swim. ROEW is where the players play chess. And I said, James, Mr. Taylor, I am a chess champion. I might as well be a grandmaster in professional wrestling. I might as well be the person who's going to night D12 and checking with a rook. I might as well be taking pieces because this is what I do. Yeah. But I've also had to have that change of heart when it comes to who Kyle Shelby is. And I had to really tone it down a little bit and tell myself, maybe I should give it a shot. Go somewhere else, give it a shot. And that's when James Taylor and I sat down on the phone last night, very late at night. I believe it was like 2 a.m.
Oh, wow. That's late. That's really late.
We had the contract signed at 6 a.m. this morning.
Wow. That's really early.
So I went and got a good pump at the gym, and I was really excited. But, yeah, Kyle Shelby is now an official roster member for ROEW. I understand Kyle Shelby is a world champion at UCA. Kyle Shelby was world champion for UWW.
You were.
I don't expect to get handed a single thing. For the past couple months, or as long as UCA has been around, I've been a fighting champion. No match that I've had, I have not had a match without defending this championship. So I understand one thing. I understand earning your spot on a roster. I understand working hard. I work hard in the gym every day, 2 hours a day, baby.
Yes, sir.
I keep a strict diet. We work very hard in this household.
You do.
So what I'm telling you guys is,
Yes, sir.
Kyle Shelby is going to earn his spot to work with guys like Big Man Cam. Kyle Shelby is going to earn his spot to battle men like Jack Delta when he comes home.
Well, how about natural selection? How about Jason Storm, the puppet master? How about Holden Holloway? How about the DKW champion, Alex Cross? How about Matthew Forsaken? We're all Forsaken. I mean, there's a long list of names that are in ROBW. A long list of names that are there. And you're going to have to battle. You're going to have to be the Duke of Detroit. You're going to have to keep hitting the gym. You're going to have to keep going out there and being the bad guy, because this is a deep roster with some big names who have certainly been big fishes. I mean, you know, Jason Storm is the new ROBW champion. That's got to give James Taylor, I mean, it's got to really give him some nightmares. It's going to give him some heartburn, indigestion. And I don't know if you're the man to certainly cause Jason Storm some problems, but natural selection and, you know, there's a lot there in ROBW right now. A lot going on. Yes.
I want to send a message to Jason Storm real quick. Jason Storm, my name is Kyle Shelby. I've been UCA UWW World's Heavyweight Champion for going on 9 years. You've just been World Champion. You've been World Champion for not even 12 hours.
Yeah.
You have things to learn, brother. You have some things to learn, but understand this. I want to congratulate you for your World Heavyweight Championship run or your win. You're going to have a great run. But I'm known for giving people problems. You can ask Jack Delta. I'm known for causing people problems.
I believe that.
I fight for the people, and the people you're against. You like to make people feel a certain type of way. You like to make our boss feel a certain type of way, and I'm the type of guy that likes to make money. And when the man who signs my paychecks isn't happy, well, I guess I'm not happy.
Oh, you're a James Taylor guy then. You are a through and through a James Taylor guy here. So I guess this is what James Taylor was talking about. If Jason Storm was victorious on Thursday night, and you're apparently, I guess, maybe James Taylor's insurance policy to handle Jason Storm now, because he warned Mr. Storm on Thursday night. You were here. You were in the chat. He warned Mr. Storm, should Mr. Storm somehow continue his career and defeat Big Man Cam, but maybe you're that, I don't know, new signee, that insurance policy to, let's just say, keep Mr. Storm on his toes here coming up these next several weeks and months, I would have to think.
You know, I would like to say I'm one of them.
One? Just one? Are you telling me there's more? I mean, you're a pretty big guy. I mean, is there 2 of you, 3 of you? Did they clone you? Is there AI versions of you? I mean, you say one of you. I mean, are you implying that there's more of you?
Listen, everybody sitting at home, watching at home.
We are watching.
Because I am watching the chat right here. What's up, Zilla Killer?
We're gonna get to the chat. We're gonna get to them. We're gonna get to them. But I mean, this is something I didn't see out of left field. We were talking about, okay, we're gonna talk about UCA. We're gonna promote the YouTube channel. We're gonna talk about more wars with Drew. We're gonna talk about episode 4 on Monday, and basically talk about this reign, coronate you, give you something, and that would be the show. But you apparently have all of a sudden told us tonight that you're the newest signee of ROBW, a company that's in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame, by the way. As a company, they're in the Hall of Fame. I mean, there are wrestlers in that company who are multiple times over in the Hall of Fame. James Taylor is a man that has 130,000 plus followers. CJ Black is a multiple-time 7-star superstar. I mean, there are people that have had synonymous careers outside of the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit, and now you're a part of this company.
100%. And that's the thing, man. Mama Shelby and I used to dream about things like this when I was younger growing up, wrestling on the trampoline in TWF,
Yes.
And now I'm signed to ROEW. That's crazy. The hottest backyard and underground company in Michigan. If not,
I think it's one of the hottest in all of backyard underground wrestling, not just in Michigan. I mean, all of this is a company that has over 1,000+ subscribers. This is a company that you mentioned Jack Delta. Now, I don't know what Mr. Delta's future is in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit, so I don't know what his future is. But certainly, you and Mr. Delta have some history. I don't know. I know you're obviously processing a lot here, but you did talk about in the chat this last week about wanting to explore going to different places, and going to your neighbors in ROEW certainly could be a start. And we know that the DKW guys are there. We know that there's a lot of talents from all over the circuit are there.
Let's shoot real quick, Tom.
Yes, sir. I can shoot some hoops. I can shoot some hoops.
I like to shoot. Go straight from the mouth.
Yes, sir.
Ray Silver knows all about that. She knows how.
We're a family station. I'm going to leave that at that, but I'm certainly happy to talk about anything else. I'm happy to talk about anything else related to what you'd like to say in the wrestling world. I can't elaborate on anything else. Yes, I understand, but that was the Van Halen sign when Sammy Hagar was in the band, but I don't think you're going to talk about that was actually, that was the thing. They would go like this, but that's a different show for, well, it was a different show for a different time, but certainly right now, to use the Van Hagar years. And we want to know, I mean, since you are here on top of the world, quote unquote, I mean, we can't stop talking about this announcement. So you're officially now a member of ROEW. Is that what you want to?
Yeah, man, it's exciting. This has been a goal of mine for a very long time. Now, the new ROEW World's Heavyweight Champion, I understand. I want him to know I understand. I'm not just going to be handed a title shot. So understand, you're safe, buddy. You're safe. I got people to go through.
Yeah, you got people to
when
go through.
When it comes, don't piss off James too much. Do not piss him off too much, because
I think he and I think Mr. Storm and Mr. Taylor, that ship has already sailed. I mean, they have a history, as we explained on Thursday's show, which actually goes back to this platform. This goes back almost 2 years that Mr. Storm and Mr. Taylor have had this back and forth. It actually all started when Mr. Taylor came on to Mr. Storm's interview. So they've had a back and forth going back 1.5 years. So that ship has sailed, with all due respect. But you can continue.
Fair enough. But you never know. He could pull the trigger on something, and I might just have to become Kyle Two Belts. You never know. But I don't. I'm chilling.
Well, there's other belts in ROEW. There's the Prestige Championship. There's I guess you could say it's a part of ROEW, technically, the DKW Championship. I mean, do those interest you at all?
Of course.
Yeah.
One of my goals in 2025 is to become a Grand Slam champion, regardless if it's going to be in ROEW, regardless if it's going to be in UCA, regardless if it's going to be in promotions that I just randomly go to just because I want to.
So you want to go to more? Are you mean to tell me you want to go to more promotions? You want to go to more?
I just met some brothers down under.
Yeah, I got one of them here. And I got a guy in Massachusetts here.
That's right. We're going to be heading that way very shortly. Once winter chills out, Jake, I know you're watching, brother.
He's here. He had a show today, too, by the way. He was wrestling
I know. Did you watch it?
I did watch it. I tried to watch everything. I tried.
Man.
I think I missed the first half of... Well, YBW's on right now, so I definitely missed that. I watched ROEW after it aired, and then I caught NEW, and then I watched BTW. So I tried. I did the best I could. Well, I missed BCW. That's the show I missed, BCW. But that's a different BCW Pro. But that's Maxwell Reeves isn't here, but that's okay. But
the show today has just been full of underground.
Like the March Madness version of Backyard Underground Wrestling. But do you want to go to more places, though? You say more.
Of course. Listen, the whole thing about what I got going on right now is conquer. So I'm looking to conquer. I'm looking to become a recognized face in the underground circuit. I'm looking to become the guy. And
All
there's
right.
a lot of guys, Tom, that say, "Hey, I want to be the guy."
I would
I want
agree.
you to understand. I've been the guy for almost a decade.
Nine and a
It,
half years. It's been a long run. 4 presidential terms, basically. I mean, it's been an amazing run. I mean, there has certainly been people that only dream about being a champion for 9.5 days, and you've been a
right.
champion for 9.5 years. That's a long time.
And I've been listen, I've been destined to do this my whole entire life. When Mama Shelby passed away when I was 11 years old, that's when I started this journey. And I thought to myself every single day, what would Mama Shelby want Kyle Shelby to do? What would Mama Shelby want? You know? And we talk to Mama Shelby every single day. We talk to her, we hang out with her. We say what we got to say.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I believe Mama Shelby would tell NEW not to close down just yet because Kyle Shelby's got some places
Well,
to
I
be.
think they're continuing still. They're not closing tomorrow. I think that their doors are open. I mean, Mr. Dvorak has always been. He's been here many times, and his company's going into the Hall of Fame in a few weeks. So you'll get to see some of those roster members. And I don't think that Mr. Dvorak is somebody that's closing anytime soon. He's always a fair. I know him for the past, was it 8 or 9 months, and he's a fair man. I don't think he's closing tomorrow. So I would imagine the door is open if you can travel to Massachusetts to Worcester and you can get there and you can compete. I think that he would certainly give you an opportunity. As far as I know, I mean, I can't speak for the man. He'll be here in about 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm sure
Yep.
you can address him then. But I'm sure that he would give you a shot if he thought it's suited fit. I'm sure.
From what I understand, he was talking about shutting it down before. But hey, man, if you're not shutting it down, brother, my
Well,
apologies.
he's got plenty of time. He's got plenty of time. They're not shutting down tomorrow, so. You never know. You never know.
I want to show everybody what Detroit hardcore is like. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, where the original Sheik used to bleed people.
Well, Sabu's from Detroit. We know. We know certainly Rhino's from Detroit. I mean, we know Detroit. I mean, I always got my respect for Detroit. I don't think we've ever bashed Detroit on Sportswire. I've always had my
Oh
respect.
no, I'm not saying you did, brother. I'm not
Oh,
saying you
okay.
did.
So I've rooted for the Lions. I was happy the Lions won on Thursday. Boy, what a bizarre. I'm not going to get into that. That was bizarre. Let's just put it that way. Clock management.
Man, they're on a streak. Don't doubt the Lions this season coming
Well,
up.
those Chicago Bears, let's just say for our football fans here, I never seen anything as bizarre as that. But you want to travel. I got my buddy Abraham Storm here in North Carolina. He's in the house. CSW's here. Maybe you want to go to North Carolina. The thunderous Abraham Storm. I mean, you got a lot of people here. I mean, Ace Reed's here, Wrestling Zero, BWDU. I mean, you spoke for Mr. Taylor. Mr. Wakefield was here before. He's got a wedding invitational. And,
Yeah, hey, let's talk about that real quick, Tom. Chase,
Before you do that, Mr. Dvorak, I want to put his comment up very quickly because he does address you, and I want to get to him right now because he does. I'm going to get to Mr. Wakefield. I'm going to get to him, but he wants to make sure though that if you do show up or you say you want to show up, don't be like everybody else. That's what he wants to tell you.
You know something, Jake? I'm trying really hard these days not to be like certain people we know, brother. So I will make a commitment. Give me a time, give me a date. Let's do a couple months out. But yeah, man, let's do it. Even if it's in the beginning of 2025, let's make something happen. I'll message you tonight. We'll
The
make
year's
something.
almost over. I mean, realistically speaking, the year's almost over. So
Oh yeah,
have to be 2025 with much respect to you, Mr. Detroit.
true.
So it'd have to be 2025. But, Mr. Wakefield is here, and he's obviously who you wanted to also address. Now, he has this wedding invitational, and I know you have heard a lot about it. And obviously, Mr. Wakefield very well. He has also a long history in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. He is a man which I believe in what he's doing. He does intend to have one of the greatest super shows in history. Mr. Dvorak just pulled off 2, by the way, this year. He did a pretty good job in his own right. The All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament in the ring, and he did a fantastic job. Mr. Wakefield wants to do something totally different. He wants to have a wedding invitational. And I mean, are you invited? Have you been invited? Have you been contacted by Mr. Wakefield? Are you on the card? Like, what's the story with that there? Because I'll invite you if you like.
No, I haven't been invited yet, but you know
Why
what?
haven't you been invited? If you know Mr. Wakefield, why haven't you been invited?
I haven't talked to Chase in a while.
But he's here on Sportswire now. You should. That's exactly why you should talk to him right now, because he's here.
Hi, Chase. Can I come to your wedding? I will bring you gifts.
Well, he might need to bring chairs because he's apparently running out of chairs. But he is here, Mr. Wakefield, and obviously it's to take place in August. It's in the state of Pennsylvania. I think Michigan and Pennsylvania are neighbors, sort of. And,
I used to live in Pittsburgh I lived in Pittsburgh for 2 years, so I'm very familiar with Pennsylvania.
GBYWN Super Show, by the way.
Huh?
That's where they just did the GBYWN Super Show reunion. It's not.
I heard about that show. I heard about that show, man. That show went wild.
I have Rad Dad here in about like 2 weeks, maybe, to talk about it. Well, what he can talk about, because they're taking their sweet old time, like cooking sweet potatoes. They're taking their sweet old time to put the thing out. But Rad is here, who just, by the way, won the GTS World Championship. So Rad will have a lot to say. But I see more names here that want to, have an opinion. But before I get to Abraham Storm, so you want to be at this thing and you want to wrestle too, right? You want to wrestle on the show, right?
Honestly, man, it's been a dream of mine to wrestle Silas. Sorry, I'm messing up my words. I don't know what's going on here, guys.
Because you have a lot to say tonight, and you see Silas on the screen. He's in one match, but maybe you could have him in another match. I don't know.
And we were talking about that. I told him, I'm like, hey, man, let's make something happen sometime in 2025. Let's get Kyle Shelby back in a DBW arena, man. Making a little joke because I used to be in a DBW myself. And he's like, yeah, let's work something out. We're definitely talking about something in the future. But I'll work anybody, man. I'll even work Drew at his show. It don't matter to me.
Well, maybe Mr. Wakefield could arrange that. Maybe you and Drew at the Super Show here, the wedding invitational. Maybe that would be something that could happen. But you could definitely get there, though, to Pennsylvania, right?
There's going to be, what was that?
You could definitely get there, though, the show in Pennsylvania. That's what I asked.
Yeah, man. Listen, Greyhounds are inexpensive. Kyle Shelby's a smart man, very economical.
Well, that's good. It's good to be obviously successful and, obviously planning that out. And, I do want to, but you want to be there. And, what do you think about Wakefield's idea of a wrestling super show? You like it? You like the idea? What do you think? No?
I love it. I love it. I would love nothing more than to be a part of it. I think that's really important for the underground community. I think it's really important for our guys to really get bigger exposure. And I firmly believe if we all work together, if we're all boys and homies, friends, we can easily push big numbers. And these are the types of shows to get it done. Best in the yard.
I think that Mr. Wakefield's going to do that. I think he's got some big names on there already. He's got Rad Dad. He's got Papa Bear. He's got Aaron Jones. He's got D'Angelo the Flame. He's got Mr. Judgment. He's got Brandon Castelli. He's got Nikki Chuch. He's got a whole list of other great people. He's got Dan Stofko. He's got just a long list of people, and I'm sure there'll be more names. And you can see the poster here, and hold the list of companies, and it's a long list, and we'll put UCA on there for fun. And I'll obviously Matt DeMorris. How about Matt DeMorris being on this too? By the way. With Mr. Wakefield.
Listen, Chase, if I can get over there just to meet Matt DeMorris, because I'm a Matt DeMorris mark, okay?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to be a mark, all right, and freak out about that one. But, yeah, no, listen, these are guys that I've wanted to meet my whole entire life. I've been wanting to meet Silas since I was around 13 years old, man. Jesus Christ. I'm going on 28 in August. So that's a while. So I think this is a long time coming. And I think that would be amazing to be able to go out there and show the guys, hey, this is what Kyle Shelby can do. This is what guys in Michigan can do. Other guys that they haven't seen before in a bigger light. So I think that's great opportunity.
I'm with you. I think DeMorris being on this, considering his history,
Yeah.
And like what he's done, I mean, that's a major coup. I mean, I know people are going to say different things, but it's a major coup to have, again, a guy like Matt DeMorris on the show. I mean, that's just statistically speaking, the GBYWN, nothing could top what the GBYWN it had. It was 80 companies, and Will Ospreay was in it technically, and
Yep.
I mean, it was just around the world. It was just revolutionary. I mean, there's nothing that could top the GBYWN, and for Mr. Wakefield to pull that off, that's obviously a tremendous coup to what he's done, and you can see that here. And I want to bring up my buddy Abraham Storm, who's going to be here in a few weeks, and he'd love to have you in his company. And he's in North Carolina now. What's the distance between you and North Carolina again?
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure, but I know North Carolina.
Have you been to North Carolina before?
I haven't. I've had an opportunity to go work door to door when I did door to door sales out in North Carolina for a little bit, for like a week, but I just never went. I decided to stay back and work the field back at home because it was something I was comfortable with. But, I would love nothing more than to do just that, man. I think that would be great.
He's a young kid. He's got a lot of fire. He's got a lot of passion, and he would like to obviously network. And if there's a will and a way, that's his Instagram page. And I'm sure that he would certainly love to connect with you and talk about that opportunity. So, that would be interesting. And he's, a big guy. He wants to wrestle. He wants to wrestle new guys. And, he also eventually wants to go and be a pro and train. And, and if you want to follow Kyle and find out more about him, that is his Instagram page. He is certainly the prophet of prime time, and he certainly called his own shot that he's the newest member of the ROEW roster, a drastically changed ROEW landscape, and he's also the Duke of Detroit, and he's most notably the UCA world champion. But Mr. Wakefield, who's here in 20 days, will also have his own announcement. Now, maybe the announcement is that you're going to be a part of the show. Maybe that's the announcement. I don't know.
Who knows? You never know. I know. Listen, Chase is a busy guy. You never know what he can pull off in the next couple weeks.
Oh, I don't doubt it one bit. I mean, I don't doubt at all what Mr. Wakefield can pull off. He was at a seminar with Elon Musk. I mean, he was obviously hobnobbing with Musk.
My man, Elon.
Well, he's obviously friends with him. I mean, people say, "Oh, well, who do you know?" And I say, "I know a lot of people. I have 5,000 contacts in my phone, but this guy's friends with Elon Musk." I mean, so I thought I could call people, but he knows Musk. So, obviously, also Abraham said he's followed you. He thinks he's followed you. So he'll connect with you though after the show for sure. Undoubtedly, he'll connect with you. But,
listen, anybody that needs advice, anybody that needs help with, who they are in the business, what they need to do, let me know. I got you. I'm that guy. Let me know.
Yeah.
More than that, I'm up till 3 a.m.
Yeah, do you think that now would you want Jason Storm to contact you for some advice? Would you want him to contact you and talk about natural selection and maybe ask for some advice? You're an RBW guy now. Would that also count for advice? Like if the puppet master called and said, "Hey, look, I want you to join natural selection. I want you to be a part of this here. What we've got going is if you don't, your time and all these places you want to travel is going to be cut short because you're going to be cut down in half because he's got Holden Holloway now and he's got this guy Alex Cross, and that basically if you don't naturally select to be on his side, that anywhere you want to go, you're going to be shot down in flames, like to quote AC/DC.
Like to quote AC/DC. I love you, man. You're great.
I try. I did try out to be on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I actually went to the ABC studios, and years ago in college, I went to the ABC studios. My mother was like, "You got to try out for this. You'll be pretty good." I'm like, "All right." So I tried out. I obviously, I did the whole thing. I took the test, and I didn't get onto TV, but they gave me a pencil and a mouse pad when those were such a thing. So, but not about me. It's about Mr. Storm. Mr. Storm, obviously, if he seeks your advice and he tells you these things, like, what are you going to do?
Mr. Storm, you should really dig down deep and ask yourself, should I really threaten a man like Kyle Shelby?
I don't know.
Should I really threaten a man who's been a menace to society since before COVID? Since inception. I am a James Taylor guy. I am a James Taylor guy through and through. Okay, and listen, if this guy is doing nothing but causing problems, okay, then I'll give him good advice, but the advice is going to be a little bit harder than some guerrilla warfare.
And if
My
he
advice.
tells you to join natural selection, what are you doing? Even though you're a James Taylor guy, will you join the group?
Listen. No.
No? So that's, we're live, right? You do know we're live, right?
We're live in prime time, baby.
And you're saying no, that's your final answer? No.
Listen. I don't do the teams. I'm an outlaw. I'm a nomad. I don't have a patch on my back. Right? If Mr. Taylor thinks that I would be a good part of his team, Mr. Taylor,
He might need you now because I don't know what the future is for Big Man Cam. He just took a beating from Jason Storm tonight or this afternoon. He took a beating from him.
listen, if Jason Storm wants me in the group so bad, he's going to have to put his title on the line.
Yeah, he may not do.
If he wins, then he's not only UCA World's Heavyweight Champion, but he is ROEW Champion, and Kyle Shelby will join his group.
But I think then that seems to me like that Mr. Storm is not going to do that. He's probably going to, again, we don't know what Mr. Storm is thinking right now. Obviously, he said it. Now he said it at the end of the main event. Come on, boys, let's celebrate. So he's celebrating. He's out on the town still. He's still partying like it was last year. What's that?
He's having a good day. He deserves it.
He's partying. He said it himself with the come on, guys. Come on, boys. Let's celebrate. So he's celebrating right now. He has no idea what's going on right now. He has no idea that you're the new signee of ROEW. He has no idea that James Taylor has pulled this massive coup. He has no idea about this. Now, he's going to be back on Sportswire soon, Mr. Storm. We're going to have a chat about this, I'm sure. I mean, you're obviously welcome to tune in.
When I first debuted in HCW, I was me and Daniel Derricks, my big brother, Daniel Derricks, we were the thorn in the sides of the natural born heels. Then I became the thorn in the side of Chris Payne and Ramo, everybody in UWW. I became the king. I know all about what he is about. I know every angle he will try to push. I am a legitimate grandmaster when it comes to chess. People talk on this platform, I like to play chess. I'm not playing checkers. Half of y'all don't know how to play chess.
And Mr. Storm's actually using sort of a modified version of the line. All right. I mean, what do you think, though, about CJ Black now? This new CJ Black, where he seems like he's starting all over. Another guy that you know very well for a long time in the Michigan backyard circuit. He seems to be different now. Like, are you believing it? Mr. Taylor, obviously your boss, he's kind of skeptical still about it. I mean,
no. Listen, I've had a lot of conversations with CJ Black.
Oh, you have.
CJ Black is a good reason why Kyle Shelby got called up last night.
Really?
100%.
CJ Black?
Yeah, he said, well, he put in a good word for me.
CJ Black? I would never have thought that CJ Black would.
He's legitimately a good guy.
Wow. I mean, he's a homegrown talent of ROEW. He never cared about helping other people, and now he put in a good word for you. Wow,
he put in a good word for me, and I'm putting it out here and right now. CJ Black has changed his ways. He has changed his ways. He saw the light of our Lord, and he said, "Kyle, I want to help you out, and this is going to be my first good deed." And I said, "CJ,
wow,
let's go."
I mean, I'm like, I didn't see that one coming. I mean, he was very impressive today in action against Joe Stone. I mean, he was very impressive with the historic show. And, I mean, are you afraid of the dark and Matthew Forsaken? We're all forsaken. Like, what do you think about that?
Who?
Matthew Forsaken?
Who? I don't know that man.
You don't know? Well, you're gonna meet him.
I hope
meet
so.
him.
And I want to see his darkness. I want to see that darkness. I'm welcoming that darkness. And I didn't mean no disrespect when I said who. I genuinely don't know who this man is.
Well, I'm sure you'll get you get familiar. You can. I will take that for what it is. But you know, Mr. Black, and you know, Mr. Storm.
Absolutely.
You know, but Mr. Delta, what do you think? You know, I have to ask you. You know, Jack Delta is a name who's obviously he exited stage left. You know, about 2 months ago, he had an unfortunate injury, defending his championship against then IMF champion Soldier GP, and you know, it was very unfortunate the timing of all of that, and then the timing right after that was pretty much the backyard wrestling circuit changed dramatically in a lot of different ways. I'm going to leave that at that to what it is and what it was, but you obviously intersected quite a bit with Mr. Delta over these past several years in your career. Do you think that there is a future for Jack Delta? Do you think he'll be back in the ring? I mean, he's obviously, we don't really know, but what's your thoughts there on that?
Jack Delta is one of the only men that I know that willingly will travel to other places to help these other places and make names for other people rather than just himself. Jack Delta is for the business. Jack Delta is Michigan Underground Wrestling.
I think he's backyard underground wrestling altogether. This is a man that, like you said, he's traveled to a lot of places. I agree with you on that.
You know, and the thing about it is he's never been the type of guy to just stay laying down. He's never been the type of guy just to do random nonsense. Jack Delta is a very put together guy. Look at how many wars this man has gone through defending
James Taylor wrestled Jack Delta. Did you know that? He wrestled Jack Delta.
When did he do that?
In a company that I'm not going to say anything about at this point. I'm going to just say no comment on that company, but he wrestled there in a company that, let's just say again, I'm going to say with all due respect, no comment to. But they did wrestle though. I will leave that at that. I'm not going to speak further on that. I have nothing to say about that particular place that they had wrestled, but they wrestled once upon a time, and they wrestled about a year and a half ago. What's that?
I said, okay, that's awesome, man. And you know what? I've wrestled Jack Delta before. You know, before DBW really took off, he came over to my trailer, and we wrestled in my yard on a tarp. And I
think we spoke about you knowing Mr. Fury and Mr. Delta. Mr. Fury, obviously, who just, by the way, was a part of things in MLW I saw not too long ago. Mr. Fury.
Really?
Yep. Mr. Fury. Actually, funny story. I actually know Mr. Fury through somebody else, not related to backyard wrestling. It's a small world in the world of wrestling. There's a buddy of mine, a California professional wrestling promoter, actually 2 years ago suggested I interview James Fury. But James Fury is the definition of like a pro wrestler, like a legit pro wrestler, meaning that he wrestles like every week. And when he wrestles, he's wrestling like for big crowds. He's like the definition of like a pro wrestler. So like when I spoke to Mr. Fury and when I've spoken to him many times, it's usually like I really can't hammer a date down because he's usually wrestling. So I actually know Fury quite well, actually. Hell of a guy.
The guy nowadays, man. There's a lot of guys.
You know what? He was busy. He was busy 2 years ago when I first got in touch with him. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, obviously quite a history there, quite a history. But Mr. Delta, you think he'll come back, or you don't know?
Yeah, I got a lot of will. He's gonna come back. What's his, man? He's gonna come back for that title.
It would be interesting to see you and him in the same locker room again. That would be rather interesting. What do you think? That'd be a little interesting.
It would be nice. Now, like I've said in the past, Kyle Shelby's not. I'm an acquired taste.
I understand.
You know.
And James Taylor seems to like you. I mean, that's just. Wow. James Taylor likes you.
Yeah.
He likes you.
Not great.
I would never have guessed James Taylor, the legendary ROW owner, was, I guess he knew, he said he had something up his sleeve. I'm going to present to you something. We'll read a few more comments, but he did say in case Mr. Storm won today that he had a plan. And I guess you were that plan all along, huh?
You never know what's going to happen. You really never know what's going to happen. You never know. James Taylor could just plant me. He could just plant me and have me do his little dirty work every once in a while, let me move up the ranks, and then let me strike. Because he knows he knows Kyle Shelby is the type of guy that plays it cool. I'm here to do this for the fans, though. I'm not here to do this for just me, right? If I get gold, I get gold. If I become Kyle Belts, I become Kyle Two Belts. My biggest concern right now is reconnecting with my fans. And I couldn't do it just doing it here at UCA. And I'm not knocking my company. I'm not knocking my home. I'm saying we need more people to show who Kyle Shelby is. And
I think you're here tonight. I think there has been a number of people, they've been getting a chance to hear that. I think that there's certainly no question that, people are getting a chance to reconnect with you, to remember what you brought to the table in the first stint. Maybe they didn't quite see it the first time you were here, but they're certainly hearing it a bit tonight. You're open for business.
They should start calling me the mouth of the yard, man. We're about to get crazy out here because my voice is going to echo.
Well, I definitely don't want to get on your bad side, but I tell you what, though, you mentioned Aaron Blaze. Now, Aaron Blaze is another guy that he had a run in ROEW for a little while. I'm sure you're familiar with that. He wrestled Jack Delta, and that was, a match that was really, publicized here on this platform. And obviously, Aaron Blaze was here actually last week. I believe you were here in the chat, and Mr. Blaze had a lot to say about his own company, and he seems to be open for business, and I think that he's still a part of ROEW. And what do you think about Aaron Blaze?
How old is Mr. Blaze?
Aaron Blaze is 19. I think he turns 20 next year. So he's 19.
Okay, let's run it. Run it. We just want to make sure. That's how you do it.
No, Aaron Blaze has been around a lot of places. I think I know what you're trying to say, but he's been around. And, he obviously had a couple of big matches. Yeah, everybody would know about him, whether again, some people have their opinions, but he's a fantastic talent. I happen to like him. And, me too. Well, listen, I'm a big Aaron Blaze fan, but he's wrestled Jack Delta. He's wrestled C Money. And you would love to see him in ROEW, right? Back again.
Absolutely. Listen, Aaron Blaze, I know you're gonna watch this, or you're watching this right now, brother.
Well, he's got his own show, which was out there, but certainly, undoubtedly, I'm sure that Mr. Blaze will, he'll know about this for sure. He'll definitely know about, what's going on. But you would welcome him in ROEW again, right?
100%. Listen, even these bad guys, Mr. Storm. Welcome. Listen. Let's all be friends. Let's all be friends.
Okay.
Let's all be friends
with him. That's nice.
I don't want to smoke now.
Duly noted. No, dude. You can smoke.
No, that's not what I want. No. I'm saying I don't want any smoke coming from him and his family.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, I got you. I was like, yeah, you could smoke. What, Tarzan Duran was here and smoked the biggest joint I've ever seen anybody smoke. I don't even smoke, but so Aaron Blaze, you'd want to see here. You want to see back in ROBW, and UCA is going to be a part of ROBW with you being the champion. So you'll defend the UCA title in ROBW then, right?
I would love nothing more, man. I would love nothing more.
Don't choke. Listen, Kyle, I know we're excited about you in ROBW, but don't choke on us now, because then we're never going to see you in the ring.
I'm all good, brother.
Good. I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm delighted to hear that. We're here with Kyle Shelby, the UCA champion for 9.5 years, and he has announced tonight, he has shocked the world, that he is the newest signee of James Taylor, the ROEW owner, and he'll be in ROEW who knows when? Stay tuned to ROEW's YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok pages at ROEW Underground. And that is a big development, especially after you saw what happened here at the historic ROEW anniversary show where Jason Storm usurped Big Man Cam as the ROEW champion. And well, it was certainly one for the ages. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally, but all wrestling matters. And, Mr. Walker said that the coughing fit has me dying. He liked the coughing fit. He liked it.
Oh, wow.
Well, I hope you're okay there. Well, while you're trying to figure out, hopefully you don't die on us here. I got to give Mr. Walker a big follow because Mr. Walker's got a big show coming up. DBW's got their show tomorrow, actually. I know he was supposed to have it tonight, but I'm going to say it because Silas was telling me that they're going to have it tomorrow. So watch their show tomorrow. It'll be in between my two shows. I'm on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow with the first Black British boxer to have fought 100 times. Arv the Fox Mitu, he's here. He was here 3.5 years ago, and he returns. And also, I'll be here at 9 o'clock Eastern time with some guy, Justin Parsley, who is in ROEW, also wrestled Jack Delta and Soldier GP. Those guys obviously are intertwined with ROEW, but you seem to be a part of ROEW, and I want to see who else has something to say. And everybody seems to be laughing at the smoking there. Silas laughed, but don't laugh at Silas. Give him a follow on Instagram. Support DBW.
That's what I don't want to happen with me in natural selection. I don't want that smoke because I will smoke it and I will be coughing. I'm like New Jack, but without the crack. You understand me?
I see. Well, okay. Well, I mean, obviously, we'll have to certainly find out. But I did want to give it to you in the interest of time. We'll speak for a little while longer, but I know you are now a part of ROEW. Boy, I should give a do-over on this. But it is officially UCA Day on Sportswire Radio. So I did want to give you UCA Day.
Throw up your ones. Because I was just acknowledged. UCA was just acknowledged. Throw up
You're
your
acknowledged.
ones.
You're acknowledged.
Hey, who do you have for the War Games tonight, Tom?
Who do I have in the War Games?
Yeah.
Well, who won?
I don't know, man. I don't even think the match happened yet, but I'm going for the OG Bloodline for sure.
Well, I will let everybody watch the main. If it hasn't, I mean, it's 10:22. I would have to think it's happened already. But if it hasn't happened, we'll let people go into it. But I do want to make sure before I get to a few other things to go follow UCA. And there's an easy way to do that here on YouTube. It's very simple, very straight to the point. This is the UCA YouTube page, and it's very simple. And I'm going to put it up because, well, I just want to do that. By the way, you got to 9 subscribers now. Congratulations. You got one. And I want it's Jake said it's over. Universal Champions of Action. Let's get him to 10 subscribers. He's at 9 now. So congratulations. We started at 7. Now you're at 9. So let's get you to 10. And Mr. Dvorak said the event is over. So that means you can message Mr. Dvorak when we're off the air. You can certainly do that. Would you like me to put up Mr. Dvorak's Instagram page for you so you can follow him? Would you like me to do that?
No, I'm following him, yeah.
Well, I'll put it up anyway. I should put it up anyway because people might want to follow him anyway. Because people
followers too.
I like to follow him. I think I'm following him. Hopefully, he still wants to follow me already. Abraham subbed your page, but there's Jake's page, and he's got a lot of friends. So join him and happy belated birthday to Mr. Power Surge, his very good friend outside the ring. Had a birthday 2 days ago, and happy birthday. And he's got 10 now. There you go. So you got 10. Congratulations, you got 10. Kyle, maybe I should pass the baton to Sportswire and give it to you. I think it's time I retire. I'm going to give you the Sportswire. Maybe you can have the 1300, and it's time. I think I've accomplished everything now. I want to go out on top. Hopefully I can continue to just go out on top. I want to go out on top. Maybe I'll give you Sportswire. You could host it. You want to take over? I'll retire.
You want me to host it? Why?
I'm ready to retire. It's like the line. What did Jack Nicholson say in the original Batman? It's time to retire. It's time. That's pretty much time to retire. So I think I've accomplished what I need to accomplish. People are now gonna want to beat the hell out of it, which they already do, but that's okay. But that's Jake's Instagram. Keep it up here. Abraham subbed already, and we won't spoil who won here. But Mr. Storm has hell to pay.
That's right.
He has hell to pay. Do you have any final words for Mr. Storm or anybody in ROBW before I get ready to, maybe pass the baton off to other thoughts. Any final words for anybody in ROEW and, anything else?
Yep, I sure do.
You do.
I'm gonna hold it like a real champ real quick. I'm
Okay.
gonna hold it like a real champion. Because I did this promo a year ago, and I'm gonna do this one more time. I am the UCA World's Heavyweight Champion. And this is the UCA World's Heavyweight title. And this title means that you are the greatest wrestler to ever wrestle a professional wrestling match inside of a professional wrestling ring in the history of professional wrestling. So, wrestling. With that being said, this title will be coming with me to ROEW. And if Mr. Taylor allows it, I will be defending the UCA World's Heavyweight Championship and continuing the open challenge. Anybody that comes through ROEW, anybody that comes through UCA, anybody in all of the 50 states is able to come compete for this world's title. You never know. You might be better than me, and you might be able to take this on a 20-year reign. Who knows? But this championship has a lot of prestige behind it. I am not the first to hold this. I am not the first. I am not the last. But if you think you're better than me, if you think you're ready to take on this old chunk of coal, then come and get it. And I'm looking at Jason Storm. Let's run it. Let's have a good time. Let's make some magic. But just know, me and Mr. Taylor, we got something cooking.
You said you had something cooking with Mr. Taylor. Is that correct?
We got something cooking.
Now, you said Mr. Taylor, and you spoke a lot about him. Now, we were going to close the show, but apparently I've received word that the ROEW owner, James Taylor, the man that signed you to the dotted line, to that contract, is backstage and that he's here. And he apparently wants to say a few words and he wants to address what you've said and to anybody else out there. Now, I would imagine you would allow me to bring on your boss, right? You're not going to be like anybody else tell me no, right? You would be like, you won't, I can bring him on? He's your boss. So I have to bring him on.
Bring my man in here. Bring him
You
on.
got him. He's here. And James, you said on Thursday that if Jason Storm won the ROEW title, that you were going to make sure that Mr. Storm was going to have some trouble. And I guess you had something cooking. And I didn't see this one coming, that's for sure. And none of us did, I think.
Well, like I said, Tom, Jason Storm has got hell to pay. And I am going to do everything in my power to make his life a living hell because he proved me right when it came to winning. And he used a back door to gain that victory. Look at what he did. He beat Big Man Cam, but he didn't beat him fair and square. But that's beside the point now because now I'm looking at the future. So, Mr. Kyle Shelby, allow me to introduce myself. If you don't know, you should know, but my name is the Nemesis James
You signed
Taylor.
him. He definitely know. He knows who you are. You signed
him. And, yes, that's correct. And you are going to be new talent. Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing if you could be the future of ROEW, but that's really going to depend on you. Can you bring everything you got to the table? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to show the world who you are? Or are you just going to be another jobber? And that, no disrespect, I want you to hear me out for a second. There's a lot of guys in my 25 years plus. Yeah, I'm old, right? But in the 25 years straight that I have done this, there's a lot of guys that come and go. There's a lot of guys that say that they're the guy, but then they end up flaking and then they disappear. There's a
Yeah.
lot of guys who think they're the real deal, but they're really just mid. There's a lot of guys who think they're titans and they're nothing. All these people talk all this shit and then they flake. They crumble because all they are, and Tom can agree on this one, they're all just a bunch of lumps of coal. And it's hard to find a diamond because when you put all that pressure on it, it either turns to dust or it can turn into a diamond. And it's very, very rare to find that diamond in those lumps of coal. So, right now, don't take this too lightly. Don't take this as an insult. But to me, Mr. Kyle Shelby, with all due respect, you are a lump of coal until I put the pressure on. The question is, sir, are you going to crumble or are you going to turn into that diamond in the rough? The floor is yours. I would love to hear you talk.
So you say it takes 1 in a million. My whole life has been nothing but a gamble, Mr. Taylor. My whole life has been nothing but a gamble. I am that 1 in a million. I am the guy who's going to take ROEW to that next level. You put as much pressure on me as you want. Hit me hard. Throw me to the wolves. That's where I thrive. I am the wolf, and I don't wear sheep's clothing. I don't need sheep's clothing. I'm a wolf. I'm hungry. I just want to eat.
Okay. Well, then that sounds like a winner. We'll just have to see. And if you're hungry, let's see how hungry you really are. Because, see, if it was me in your shoes, I wouldn't be hungry. I'd be starving to death. And I'm going to do everything I can to devour everything in front of me. But that's just neither here nor
Well, you
there.
guys, I'm sure, can hammer out those details in the coming weeks. And even Mr. Dvorak has said he has heard that Michigan is fun to visit in the spring. So maybe more visitors are coming. That's what he said.
Never say never. I heard Michigan is fun to visit in the spring. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. See, ROEW is the place you want to be. But right
Yes.
now, I have a thorn that's really sticking into my side. And I've got my pair of pliers. I've got all the tweezers. I got everything I need to pluck that SOB out. And there it is.
Well, we'll certainly have to find out. And Mr. Storm, I think that's the person you're referring to, should be on Sportswire extremely soon. So we'll be seeing the
Oh, I
champion
can't wait.
in a
I
matter of
can't
days.
wait.
Maybe I'll assume then that you two gentlemen will be tuned into that episode then when he's back.
Oh, I'll
More than
be here.
likely, I might be here.
Oh, you might. Are you saying you both might be here? Oh, I didn't know you.
Well,
You
I mean,
both. You both.
he is my employee, and what I say goes with him, whether he likes it or not.
Wow, but you both might be. Wow. I mean, maybe Mr. Storm will reevaluate his return then. Maybe he will reevaluate it then.
You
He might be
see,
back.
Tom,
You can
when it comes to
reevaluate.
somebody like Jason Storm, maybe Kyle Shelby, Matthew Forsaken, C Money, CJ Black, Joe Stone, Dark Cron, just to name a few. When it comes to James Taylor's ROEW, and I don't want to sound too much like an ass when I say this, but this mostly specifies towards Jason Storm. Eventually, everybody falls in line, and he
Oh,
will. He
he will.
definitely will.
But he is the puppet master now. He is the puppet master.
I gave him a new nickname. I hope he enjoys that.
Well, he's got the world title and he's celebrating right now. And Big Man Cam, I don't think has gotten up from what happened to him. So I don't know what the future of Big Man Cam is, but I know the future is that Jason Storm is the ROEW world champion, a natural selection. They've naturally selected to dominate ROEW for now, whether people like it or not. But if you want to follow ROEW before we move on, and close the show out here, it is ROEW's YouTube channel, ROEW Underground. You can watch and relive the historic anniversary show. You can hear more about some of your favorite stars and much, much more. So that's the YouTube page. Go out there and hit the sub for them. It is ROEW Underground. And we will also say hello to Mr. Darkron, who also a fellow ROEW roster member, is welcoming Kyle Shelby, welcoming him with open arms. And it seems like maybe there is cavalry to fight natural selection, especially with Big Man Cam. And I don't know if Big Man Cam has gotten up since what Jason Storm did to him, but Kyle Shelby's a big man. I saw what Kyle Shelby did today. I've seen what Kyle Shelby has done in UCA, and you've got to go out there and follow UCA. And I want to make sure everybody does that because Kyle's at 10 subscribers. I want to get him to 11 now that he's the newest member of ROEW. It is Universal Champions of Action. It's UCA, Universal Champions of Action. You can watch the legendary Duke of Detroit, the prophet of primetime, Mr. Kyle Shelby, the UCA champion for 9.5 years. That's his channel. Let's get him to 11 subscribers. Let's get him to 12, 13, 14, so we can naturally select to get him more subscribers, and we can naturally select to see him back on Sports.
Natural selection. Huh?
Yeah, naturally. Well, I didn't mean it in support of Mr. Storm. I just thought it was a funny way to tell people to naturally select to hit the sub button. You didn't get it.
Right.
Okay. I think in that case, that should be acceptable. But I do also want to make sure, because Mr. Kron is here, and he's actually getting closer, a lot closer to 1,000 subs. He's actually now, get this, ladies and gentlemen, he is 46 subscribers away. So if you're here right now, do me a favor, go sub to Darkron's YouTube page. He was at 50 when he came here in the chat yesterday afternoon, so he's 46 away. Dark Cryptic Wrestling, he's got a video coming out tomorrow. He just had one come out the other day. So please go out there and support him. I can't stress this enough, the importance of getting to 1,000 subs. I know Silas Walker who's here right now. He's almost at 1,000 subs. I'm going to go put his YouTube channel up because he's like 100 something away. So let me go put Silas's page up. Let's all support each other. I'm going to put everybody's channels up who's here. Silas Walker, go out there. He's 194 away, and admonishment through rebirth. Well, give him a rebirth by giving him a sub, and so he won't come after us on Sportswire in his return. So go out there and do that. And I got to give Jake a little follow because Jake is coming on in your chair, Kyle, very soon, very, very soon, because his company is going in the Hall of Fame alongside ROEW. And Jake posted something, was it 2 years ago? You guys had like 700 subs, and now you're almost at 2,200 subs. So they are 2160 something now. So do me a favor, new underground wrestling. Let's support each other. It's all wrestling matters, and everybody support one another. You got any closing thoughts for us, Kyle? It's obviously UCA Day, but anything else you want to say on this historic day that is now got you a part of ROEW or what? Oh, you have any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say?
Absolutely. You know, I just wanted to thank Mr. James Taylor for this opportunity to join ROEW, and it's an honor. It's a privilege, and I'm not going to let you down. And I'm going to let you know right now, I just became extremely starving. I became starving. So I just want to let you know that, and the hunger is going to grow over time. I want people in ROEW to know.
If you got a message for the locker room, what would it be? There's my interview question for you. There's no right or wrong answer. Just wanting to know if Kyle Shelby has any message he would like to deliver to the ROEW locker room.
Pain is temporary.
Oh,
Yeah.
temporary. Reminds me of a Scorpion song. No pain, no gain. Well, I guess, wow, okay. Pain is temporary.
It's very temporary. It doesn't exist. That's something I believe wholeheartedly. It doesn't exist.
Kyle, I know we're about to leave and Tom's about to cut this, but how old are you, son?
27.
Oh, then you're 28.
I turned 28 in August.
There you go. Close enough.
How long have you been doing this?
Since I was 11 years old.
11. On and off? Straightforward?
On and off.
I don't know.
Yes, sir.
How many matches have you had?
I haven't counted them.
Okay.
That was a
What?
clever line.
A lot.
I was just curious because
180. I'm going to guess 182.
I think it's
182.
I definitely believe it is in the hundreds. I don't think it's nothing crazy like no 500 matches, nothing like that. You
I don't
know,
even think Deltas had 500. I think Deltas had like 200. He mentioned it once on one of these episodes, like 200. I don't know. But Zilla wants to also point out, she says hello to Natural Selection. I don't know why they're not here, but she says she would like to join Natural Selection.
I mean, if you want to be told what to do and be a puppet for the puppet master.
And she would join them. She would definitely join them. Who else we got that was here? ROEW was here, by the way. Management was here, so maybe somebody knew something. And she would also like to give a shout out to Jason Storm.
Oh, Lord.
Remember, she was on your side, sort of. How tall are you, Kyle? 6'2"?
huh?
How tall are you?
I am not you, sir. I am 5'11".
All right. Well, you could always pretend you're 6'2". Big fish in a small pond. Well, we answered that because you're going to ROEW. Chase wanted to say, I've known Kyle for years now, and him finally being in a bigger Fed is a long time coming. Management wanted to congratulate you. Zilla did once upon a time congratulate you. Ace Reed said hello to you both. Jake said hello. It was a great day for back because we had so many great shows. We had NEW's show, Just Another Effing Show. ROEW kicked things off. My friends BTW had their season finale. Comatose said I quit, though, which was kind of a bummer. YBW just had their show. BCW Pro was the one I missed, but we missed YBW because we were on the air. So a lot of great shows were here. Abraham Storm said hello. We welcome Jake is back. Yes, he's definitely back. And he's back here in the chat. Yeah, we already got that. I think we pretty much got everybody here. Chase Wakefield's here on the 20th. Make sure you tune in for that. The Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational coverage continues. And also, Zilla now is officially more of a Jason Storm guy than a Nemesis James Taylor guy.
Okay. That's fine.
Well, and
choosing wrong there, Zilla.
Well, I'm saying no comment, but we did Darkon. I actually asked Kyle Shelby about Mr. Forsaken, and Mr. Shelby's line was who?
Oh snap!
He said who?
Respect now. I didn't know me.
Well,
Well,
because Money beat him. I think that's why you did that. But I'm 12 hours away. I don't know if it's possible to travel to Michigan. I don't know. I mean, I know it's a good question. Abraham Storm, obviously, who's back here in a couple of weeks. But we're also talking about maybe Kyle going to North Carolina. Kyle has also talked about tonight. You might see him in Massachusetts. You might see him in North Carolina. You might see him in Maryland, Silas Walker. You might see him in Pennsylvania in a wedding. So who knows? Who knows? But we certainly ran the gauntlet. And one more time, it is UCA Day. And UCA Monday Night Eruption Episode 4 should take place this Monday. We've got some new subscribers. So if you are out there, definitely go hit that like and subscribe button for previous UCA shows and get excited because Kyle Shelby is going to be in action and we're going to see him one of these days coming up here in ROEW. And by the way, Silas Walker got another subscriber, 807. I told you, we always help our people. And that's great. And Darkron, hopefully he gets another sub. And let's see if Kyle got one more sub. He's a 10. All right, he's a 10. Go out there, Universal Champions of Action. Just do it. And, we help each other out. And also tomorrow, I know you gentlemen will both be tuned in because I think Justin Parsley is in ROEW. I think he's in ROEW. He's here at 9 o'clock alongside Soldier GP, who everybody knows. And then I'm here 3 o'clock Eastern time with Arv the Fox Mitsu, the first Black British boxer to have fought 100 times, goes in our Hall of Fame. A man that's very instrumental in my career going back many years ago. So he's here. So really excited to have Arv here. But we had Kyle Shelby, the UCA champion, and James Taylor to talk to his newest signee, Kyle Shelby, to fight now, natural selection. So, gentlemen, it's been real. It's been certainly interesting. And I'm going to naturally select to end the show unless we have anything else we want to say before we say sayonara. No? Okay. Well, I'm going to then obviously say thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Follow ROEW Underground at Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Also, check out, again, make sure you support James Taylor, Taff Taylor, Taff_Taylor, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Taffy's Lounge, the Promo Wrestling Federation. If you desire to give that a sub, great. Appreciate that on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. And if you're on Sportswire Radio, I will see you twice tomorrow. And I think 2 pretty big shows, so I'm sure we'll see some people. And Jason Storm is supposed to be here at some point very soon. So just it's either this week or next week. It depends. I may have soccer coverage, so I may have to push him back a day. But we'll see. We'll see, obviously. But maybe Mr. Taylor will want me to have Mr. Storm on instead. So we'll see. But I'm not sure what kind of mood he's going to be in after tonight, because now Kyle Shelby is a part of the roster. So maybe he may want to have a storm, an incoming storm to postpone. But until then, thank you, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. Thank you, everybody. By the way, thank you, Abraham Storm, for that very awesome thing you gave me. You gave me a nice little logo, and I got to plug it one more time, because if I don't do it, I'm going to look like an idiot. So let me go put this out there. Abraham, thank you for the awesome logo that you designed for me. And I want to show it one more time to the audience, because we got some new people that's tuned in. And I really appreciate you, Abraham. I want to see you here in a couple of weeks. So let me put this up here, because I see he's still in the chat. So thank you, Abraham, for your support. And I will eventually make a post of this the next day or two. So thank you, my friend, and really cool logo. Keep up the good work, and we'll see everybody tomorrow on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all wrestling matters. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.